saying. Now, whether or not what he claims is accurate to what the reality is, I couldn't say, but he certainly gave me the impression that he very much believed what he was saying.
The Queen, she nods and she says, so either they did indeed summon forth an avatar or some very convincing illusion of one.
If it was an illusion, I suspect it must have some ability that is beyond simple deception.
She nods and she thinks for a moment and she says, well, in this case, it's even more important that we get a scouting party out there, figure out if this is actually real, because if it is, we're going to have to rethink quite a few things about our strategy.
One of our thoughts was that there is a wizard back in SaltMarsh, and we were thinking we might consult with him. He might have some advice to that end, and also with regards to potentially other allies, I suppose.
She nods and she says, well, I mean, any information you can gather would most certainly be welcome. I'll be talking to our shaman. I would politely ask you to not question him and to just stay away from him. Like, she very much looks at Janice as she's saying this.
Well, it so happens I won't be here. I'll be in SaltMarsh, so I'm sure there won't be any troubles with the Queen.
My fear with us returning to SaltMarsh is, as much as there's an awful lot of waiting in war, you don't always get to choose when you can wait. And yes. I fear if we return to SaltMarsh, we might be too late in returning.
We have a day, yes, before you leave, right? We have a day before we're meant to leave, yes?
Yes. From what our scouts have told us, there are still forces arriving, so I do not believe that an attack is imminent. I do still think that they are still preparing. I would, however, implore you to come back as quickly as possible and scout out the Sahaguin fortress.
How long would it take us to return to SaltMarsh and then come back here?
Going to SaltMarsh is about half a day of travel.
Okay, so we could get there and back in a day.
Yes, you can totally do that. As long as you don't fuss around in town too much.
Yeah.
Which you guys are not prone to ever do.
Of course not.
We're off to the wizard.
As long as it isn't a festival on, it's fine.
Yep, the festival is over. No more happy times.
Nice for you.
It's alright, Janice is still partying on that regardless.
They were not happy times.
They were not happy times, that is true. Festival was not happy times for sure. That is fair. That is fair. Yeah, so you can definitely make it back by evening.
When were you intending to send out a scout party?
Well, I was hoping I could send you guys out tomorrow, if that is alright, tomorrow morning.
I think that'll do fine, right? Unless we plan to go find Imbar's sister before then, but I don't think we have time.
I don't think we'll have time.
It's unfortunate. But I guess if we're going to go out scouting, we can do that afterwards, yes?
Yes, I think that speaking with the sister will be of more use for later problems, regardless.
And I have a few questions for that visit, so I say we be on our merry way.
Well, I suppose it's time to see the wizard.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz. Nope, wrong wizard.
Nope. Yep. Not salty enough.
I got the impression that you annoyed this wizard as well, didn't you?
Of course not. I don't annoy anyone.
I just polite about it.
Politely get under their skin.
So, are we going to spend half the conversation apologizing for you first?
To be fair, I wasn't the one who climbed his tower, alright?
You climbed the tower.
Suxa just looks away like, oh, that's an interesting tapestry over there.
What happened? All I remember was finding an inn, alright?
The funny
That's all
part
I know.
is I was going to climb the tower, decided this was a stupid idea, and then Luxa called me a bitch and decided to do it himself. And got shot by 2 giant crossbows.
They didn't shoot him, they just threatened him.
Well, yes, of course.
He just had grease cast on the rope and slipped off and fell down. I feel like the wizard was very polite about the whole thing.
I suppose the question is, should all of us go see the wizard or only a few of us?
Well, I don't see any point in any of us staying here at the moment. Unless anyone wants to do something else while we do it. But
I think we should all
probably a good idea not to split the party.
in case things go bad.
Traveling through the marshes isn't too safe. Considering, you know, there's T-Rexes with armor roaming around.
In fairness, the T-Rex seemed very well behaved.
He was. I'm just poking fun.
Just very well behaved T-Rex, yes. Super well behaved, you know. Beat me cleanly in half.
I wasn't there for that.
Yes,
I
Sam
noticed
got
a
bit in
nice
half
T-Rex.
by a T-Rex, who, by the way, wasn't hostile, just wanted some fish.
Yeah, you know. Happens.
Good times.
Alright. You pack your stuff and you head out. And there's actually quite a few more lizard folk patrols in the marshes than there used to be. And you know, you meet about 3 patrols until you reach the edge of the marshes. So they seem to be making sure that at least the path between the grassland and the marshes is reasonably safe, you know, even for non-lizard folk people. Because they have their own ways of traveling and, you know, they don't need all the roads, but they do know that you guys need them, and so they are actually trying to take care of some of the bigger problems around the area. Clearing it out for you guys. And yeah, you get back to where you left your horses, and oh no, you had the horses with you, didn't you? You left
Yes.
the wagon behind. Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't have my horse anymore, so I might have
You
to
don't
hitch a
have
ride.
your horse. Yeah.
Should we say hello to Ned? We got the SaltMarsh.
Well, if I get to SaltMarsh and the guards are waiting for us, we'll know what Ned did, don't we? By the way, I'm going to kill the bastard.
Yeah, you make
I mean,
it
what?
back to your wagon without any real problems. And also the whole journey back to SaltMarsh is surprisingly uneventful. There's not much going on. Might be because everything in the area ran away when there was a giant T-Rex in armor, but who knows?
I don't see why.
Yeah. Your good friend, the guard that tried to stalk Stolgeg, he has gate duty again. And he sees you, you know, he waves at you. Doesn't really say anything. There are no giant posters of, if you see this adventurer, you know, immediately tell the guards.
Can I toss him a half-eaten piece of bread with cream on it because it tastes like crap?
You still have that? You carried that for half a day with you?
Yeah.
You toss it and he just steps out of the way and it falls to the ground.
That was good bread you just wasted.
Yes, sure. Just get on with it.
Well, I thought we were friends. Apparently not.
You don't just toss random bits of half-eaten food at friends.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, you've been standing here for the last bloody 4 or 5 hours. You could be peckish.
My shift just started.
Last I seen of your captain, he's a bit of a
And
butt.
already the first thing I have to do is deal with you maniacs.
Look, we're the least of your
No
troubles,
offense.
alright?
And he like looks to Stolgeg like.
I'll do it. Do you have your spider
Hey,
armor
Nebula,
with you?
thanks for the follow, man.
No. They stay prepared.
they are keeping an eye on things in the lizardfolk layer for you. All right. Yeah. What do? You're in town. Everything seems normal. Busy day as always.
Too normal. Hey.
What's the name of the? What's the name of the what?
Hey, Nebulous, thank you very much for the subscription, man.
name of the
Welcome
wizard?
to the stream. Good to have you, dude.
God, isn't it nice to be really bad with names?
I love it.
1
Who are you?
second. Because he has a weird name. Because of course he does.
Is it
His
Ted?
name is Heladek.
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 Yeah.
He is a very, very tall man. He always wears like a turban, like a head wrap thing.
Mhm.
That makes him seem even taller. And people in town call him Keladek the Unspoken, and they are sort of rather afraid of him because they believe that he can, hear it, like whenever you speak his name, he can then hear what you said about him. But you guys probably by now have figured out that it's mostly his imp that's just spying on people for him.
Now, aside from climbing the tower, which didn't seem overly effective from what you've told me, how might we get an audience with him? Like, do we just knock on the front door?
The door has an eye. So you gotta convince the door. And then maybe he'll come. The first time he came, and then he went back inside, and then he would come again, and, well, I haven't really seen him since.
I suppose the next question is, given your previous experience with the wizard, would he be willing to chat?
Well, if you don't mind me interrupting, the previous experience was simply me trying to find out information about a dragon. To which he said, you need gold for that information, to which I didn't have, to which I tried to convince him to give me, which didn't happen, and he ended up basically going back inside like a salty boy. But now we have gold now we have gold, so I'm assuming that with the gold he might be a little more forthcoming.
That would simplify things, I imagine. Well, shall we go speak with... What was his name again? Kalakek? Kalakek?
Keladek.
Heladek.
Kill a deck of cards, that's how you're going to remember it.
Kill a deck of cards, got it. Heladek.
Yes.
Ah, yeah, it's in chat. I can reference that now.
I mean, unless anyone else has anything... Oh! No, I don't have anything left to do in town. Yeah, let's just go see the wizard and see if he'll answer.
Right.
Maybe he'll let us inside so we can see what his tower's like.
And if he doesn't, you
We'll climb it.
To get his attention.
I think that's the wrong sort of attention.
Oh, we got him out last time. It worked.
Yeah, but did you get anything of value from
Well, you got
Visualize.
arrested after that happened.
I did, yes, but no one else.
Let's opt for not climbing tower. I don't think it's going to end well.
Alright. Keladek's tower is, again, it's down here. The very, very bottom of SaltMarsh. near the coast. And yeah, a tall stone tower with a wooden door with an eye in the mouth. The eye is currently closed.
I'm going to poke it.
It slowly it opens and it says yes.
It's me again. Is Kaladek here?
I can see that. Yes.
Well, you can only see half because you've only got one eye, right?
Doesn't answer.
Well, can he come to the door? We have some questions.
It stays quiet, and then it says, he's busy.
Okay, well look, can you tell Kaladek there's a nice shiny pouch of gold here? With his name on it.
Lewis, we'll see you properly.
The door looks at you, and it says, there's a 20 gold entrance fee.
This is a very sassy door.
And you can see that, like, underneath
I do an inside check on the door.
Sure. Sure, give me an inside check on the door.
This door trying to scare me.
Alright. Well, it's a door, and you're not entirely sure if it seems to be honest, like that seems to be the case.
That is
it's
trying
very
to scare me?
difficult to tell though. No, that you know there is an actual entrance fee.
You know what? Just take the 20 gold. What do I put it? Do I put it in your eyelid or what?
No, like you see, like at the bottom there's like a little sort of like a drawer that pops out where you can dispose the money.
Is this drawer like a drawer that will actually read when the money comes in, or am I able to like kind of pretend to put my 20 gold pieces in?
I mean, you can try and scam the door. That is certainly a thing you can do. Do you want to do that?
I do.
mean, you know, it just pops up and the door said 20 gold. You know, that's up to you what you do with that.
Jana, might I suggest you put more than 20 in?
Why? It's a door.
It's a wizard's door, and we're trying to gain the wizard's favor.
Why don't you put the 20 in? Why don't you put the extra 20 in?
I'll put the damn 20 in. I'll put 25 gold in.
Alright, you put in the 25 gold and it snaps shut and nothing happens for a second. And then the door says, at least one of you has some goddamn sense, and slowly swings open. And you see, just in front of you is just basically a pretty empty stone room. There's not much going on. There's just a staircase winding its way up, and there are some barrels standing around. Other than that, it's just very bare, with very not welcoming, very empty. And you actually see a familiar face pop up. It's the imp. And he says,
God.
hello. Fancy seeing you guys around here.
Sam, your friend's here again.
The master is waiting for you upstairs. If you would follow me.
Fantastic, thank you.
and you start heading up the stairs. Do all of you go in? Does someone stay outside? What's the plan? Is everyone just joining?
I will head up, yes.
I'll definitely be heading up.
Alright. Alright. And you, as soon as the last one, you know, enters, you just hear the door slam shut behind you. And it's very dark here, like the only light is basically coming from the next floor, up above. And you follow the imp up, and he leads you to a very, you know, nice chamber. It's not the very top of the tower, it's like in the middle somewhere. It has no windows, and it seems to be an office of some sort. Like, there are some bookcases, there are some notes, but it's not what you would... It's more like an administrator's office and less of a wizard's research lab. So it seems to be a place where he would, you know, greet visitors of sorts. And he is sitting behind a very, very simple desk. There are no chairs for visitors. So he's just sitting there, like, feet on the table, and just looks at you and he says, "Well, brought some money this time, did you? What do you want?"
Well, we have questions, and I'm assuming you have answers.
Depends on the questions. And the money.
Yes, you'll get your money when you give the answers. Keller Deck. Now, we've had a little bit of a conversation with the dragon recently. And we've discovered that his sister... I'm not sure if you even know of this dragon. Do you know of a dragon called Imbar in the marshes?
He just smiles and he says, "Like I said, answers want to be paid. I'm not just going to tell you anything."
Well, I guess I'm going to have to ask the right questions then, aren't I? Because I'm not going to pay you for stupid questions like that.
Good. Then you can stop wasting my time.
Okay, well... we need to win the favor of some dragons. And I'm assuming you will have some knowledge in regards to how to do so.
He rolls his eyes and he says, "Really? I mean, dragons like treasure, everyone knows that."
Yes.
Do we know Imbar's sister's name?
1 second. I don't think we do. I know she's in Granny Nightshade.
I don't think any of you asked him for her name. And
Nope.
I don't think he mentioned it.
Not at all. All we know is she's in Granny Nightshade and she likes to fight hags. She's very vicious.
More, she likes to fight everyone. She just likes to fight. But she lost against the hag.
Yeah. Yes, anyway, so we have a dragon we're trying to find in Granny Nightshade, who is very vicious, and what, you're telling me just a bit of treasure is going to win her favor? Because I might as well just go give this gold to her instead of you, right?
He gives you a very unpleasant smile like this. "Oh, you can sure try it, buddy, you know." And he says, "Well, you just asked how to win a dragon's favor in general, which, like I said, everyone knows that. Askel, on the other side, she's a bit of a different case, I would say. You can probably make friends with her by beating the living shit out of her, which you guys seem to be rather suited for."
Is there any way to tame her in any way?
Tame her?
Yes.
I mean, is
bring
there
her
any
under
way...
control.
Well, bringing her under control? Yes, definitely. Taming her? I mean, can you be tamed? She's about as tameable as you are. Although,
I can't even tame myself. Let alone anyone else.
Pointing case.
I just read chat. Seduce a dragon?
Where's the bard?
There are bards in town, just saying. He says there are definitely ways of subjugating someone, even dragons. Though it is quite a bit more difficult.
Do you have an idea as to how powerful she is?
How do you measure a dragon's power? Let's just say that...
How much treasure it has, maybe?
The granny used to be the most powerful, let's call her ruler, in the Dreadwood. And...
Until her father arrived, of course.
Asker lost to her, so... Less powerful than a hag? More powerful? Who knows? I don't know how Granny beat her. But judging by what I've seen, she would be a youngish dragon. You can probably take her on.
So, what you're saying is our best option is just to beat her to a pulp until she wants to talk.
Yes. I do believe that would be the best way of dealing with her.
I like it.
Simple, straightforward, effective.
I don't really know if that's worth our 600 gold pieces, though, is it?
Sounds like a good plan to me.
He just, you know, he just sits there, just looks at you. He doesn't react to it at all.
Cass, if I have any advice for... Like, this will be sort of quiet. Like, not so quiet that the wizard wouldn't be able to hear.
Yeah.
Like, it's clearly directed at Janice. So it's just like,
yeah.
Janice, my wife is a wizard, and her father is a wizard. If I have any advice that I could possibly impart to anyone, do not incur a wizard's wrath.
I'm not trying to incur the wizard's wrath. I'm simply just trying to get my money's worth. Now, I'm not coming halfway across the marshes to give the wizard 600 gold pieces to simply tell him go beat a dragon when we could have done that in the first place.
Janice, there are more important things than gold.
Yes. And this has been a waste of my time.
Wasn't the initial 600 gold for information about the dragon egg?
No, the 600 gold was going to be basically about taming a dragon.
Okay.
As far as I remember.
Yeah, but you didn't ask him about taming a dragon. You asked on how to deal with this very specific dragon. Like, you can still ask him questions. I mean, you're like the person who has who's in their house, their light doesn't switch on, they get angry, they call the electrician goes there, like, flips a switch, and is like, alright, can I have my money now? And the person is like, that was super easy, I could have done that on my own, I don't see why I should pay you for full. Like, you're that person. Screw your years of study and expertise, you know, and the travel costs. I could have done that. But you didn't, did you?
I asked him very specific questions.
Yeah, and he answered.
Yeah. Not really. I asked how to tame a dragon.
Well, he said he told you, as so many times you've been told now, that you can't tame a dragon because they are so sentient like you that taming isn't a thing. They're not an animal. They're a person, essentially, if that helps you think about it. And when you asked about, is it possible to subjugate, he said, yes, there are definitely different ways of subjugating them.
And how would that be?
Well, you're gonna have to ask him. But if you asked him...
I am asking him, how would that be?
Alright. Alright. Well, there are spells like Gears that compel a target to just follow you blindly. It basically enthralls them in some way. There are spells that completely robs them